Welcome back to Deep Within. I'm JG.
I'm Truth the Motivator.
In this episode, we'll be diving into relationships, understanding the different types, how to maintain them,
The different sacrifices that you have to do to maintain them, and also having some type of self-awareness to look at yourself before you judge the other person.
So sit back and relax.
And enjoy the show. Today's first topic will be the relationship status of intimacy, of having an intimate partner. So we'll talk about how to maintain that level of intimacy. So how would you say you will maintain the level of intimacy?
Well, let's first define what intimacy is, right?
Right.
Because intimacy is not just the sexual aspect, but it's also the emotional connection that you have with your partner.
Right.
So to maintain it is to understand the non-verbal connection and contract that you have with your significant other. Maintenance means that you not only are working together, but you're problem solving and growing together. Nowadays, one of the quickest thing to do when it comes to the intimacy portion with a relationship is to just give up and find another one. We live in a society that is very quick to be replaced, right? Because it's less work as well as less of a headache, right? You can just get another one. Why wait?
Yep.
Um,
So my question to you would be, if I'm a young man and I'm having problems with my partner, but then someone comes along and they say they just seem like the best thing ever, right? They don't argue with me. They don't have to. I don't have to work. They want to go to the gym with me. They want to do X, Y, and Z. What is the point or level of saying what I have at home is better than this person or this temporary or whatever this person is coming into my life?
so in life, we have the what we call endorphins in the brain, and you might physically. So the first thing that, unless you're blind, the first thing that attracts you to somebody is going to be the physical.
Perfect. Automatic.
Right? Because people say it's like, oh, it's not about the looks. I look at it's like that's BS.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. The first thing you notice is how they look. Now, after that, you can surpass that with having a conversation and say, okay, I like the person in the way they think.
Yep.
Right? But the physical attraction lasts very little because it is not the status of when it comes to the endorphin portion, a status of full recognition within the brain. What it means is it's like an adrenaline rush, kind of like sex. If you find somebody who you sexually attracted to, only sex, right? Then after that, if there's no substance within the relationship, what happens? People get bored. So the person is physically attractive, but there's nothing else added to the relationship. So what I tell to those people is like, oh, what's better? Well, the person at home knows you
Yep. That is correct.
and is being there,
Yep.
right? So for short thrills, you're gonna get short answers as well as a short end as well. When you really dig into, as you grow older, you become more mature and you start realizing what's really important, then your brain changes and that attractiveness also increases if you're willing to maintain and work together on it.
That's a good point because a lot of people get to the point where they get lazy and they don't want to work on the things that they worked on 5 years ago. Where, hey, let's work on this because I'm trying to get to know you. But like you said, I already know this person. It should be easier, but it doesn't get easier because as we grow, we evolve and we want different things. The person that you was 5 years ago is not the person that you are now. It's hard for your partner to understand that if they're not growing as well. You know what I'm saying? So that's a good point. But what things do you say that you have to sacrifice in these type of relationships? Because people don't understand. They get into these relationships. They don't understand that it's a lot of sacrifice that comes into this. So what are some of the things that you would see that you've seen other people and also that you've seen that you had to sacrifice, within in the type of that in that space,
Sacrifice, man. If you're not sacrificing a relationship, the relationship is gonna crumble.
Yep, for sure.
Unless you're the same person, which if you're the same person that you were 20 years ago, like you mentioned, with change comes growth.
Yep.
You cannot grow within yourself or as a human if you don't change.
Mhm.
If somebody says, "Man, you changed throughout the years," good.
Yeah, yeah.
You want that.
Yes,
you know?
you have. Oh, that's crazy.
Well, one of the sacrifices that comes into my mind when it comes to in a relationship is understanding who the other person is. What that means is if you're an extrovert and I'm an introvert, activities wise, right? If you like to go out and you like to dance or you like to be with amongst the people watch, for somebody who's introvert, that can be exhausting,
Very,
physically and mentally.
very.
So you will sacrifice certain activities that you might not feel comfortable doing for your partner, for your significant other,
Makes sense.
for that intimacy, right? As well as, okay, plans and goals. Hey, we want to travel. Cool. Well, let's sacrifice, meet in the middle. And this year you choose the location, next year I choose the locations, right? People, a lot of people, there's people that are givers, there are people that are takers. But you have to understand as well, this goes into a little bit of the love languages with it.
Yep.
That if you're somebody who don't like to touch the other person, because there are couples like that,
Yeah, people don't like to be so.
and the other person responds, and that's their love language. Well, guess what? Now you're sacrificing.
You gotta kind of adapt.
Yeah.
So I will say that me personally, it's two types of sacrificing, right? So if you've been with someone for a while, that's a different type of sacrifice as it to me meeting someone tomorrow, because certain things I'm not going to sacrifice. I'm not going to sacrifice taking the time out for my brands. I'm not going to sacrifice taking the time. Now, I will sacrifice an aspect that I know that I have to give attention to something else, but I'm going to tell you that this right here is a priority. But when I'm with somebody and they help me build that, it's automatically I have to sacrifice for them. Because like you said, they was there from the beginning. So how do you distinguish what you're going to sacrifice and what you're not? Like what draws the line in certain things? You know, how do you dictate that?
It's all about communication. So if you communicate and you say, this is something that I'm willing to do for you, and if it's not already blatantly shown, then that's something that you have to demonstrate verbally.
Yeah.
And then you expect certain things back, right? Because now you're in a verbal contract with this person, emotionally, physically.
Yep.
Once that method is not met, then that's when the maintenance, you go back to maintenance because it's a cycle. Eventually, if the maintenance does not fix it, then that's when normally relationship you have to go your way, because obviously I'm trying to meet and I'm putting more sacrifice or feel like I'm putting more sacrifice than you are. Then that's when we'll have to part ways, because I'm not feel satisfied within that portion.
A lot of people today, you know, we in this popcorn society. Nobody wants to work on things. They don't want to wait for things. They feel like I can only tolerate this for so long. You know what I'm saying? So how long? Is there a time limit? Is there like what would a young man or a young woman say? This is the time limit that this is gonna keep bothering me before I walk away. Is there a time limit? Do you think it's a time limit?
I mean,
think people should set a time limit?
From my experience, I believe that, and this goes great too for the next one, which is looking into oneself. In a relationship, if we do the maintenance, so now we're both going back and forth. We sit down, we have a dialogue. We say, okay, this is what I expect. This is what you expect. This is what I'm working on. That doesn't work. Okay, cool. But we're going back, right? You always got to come back. A house that doesn't have maintenance will crumble.
Automatic.
I don't care how great of material you use. It's coming down, right? Then we go and continue with the sacrifices.
Yep.
Okay, that's constant. You're gonna sacrifice. The cool thing about sacrifice is when you do it often and you also receive, because you see that they're sacrificing as well, it doesn't feel like a sacrifice. But it is in a sense, but it becomes natural. And then it's no longer considered sacrifice. Now I'm doing this because I want to, even though it's not my thing, but I'm doing it because I love it.
Yep.
Well, when now you're hitting a level of I have to look into myself because those threes are not sinking.
Yep.
You're not feeling satisfied within it. You're not happy in the relationship. Then think to yourself, okay, where can I be, or what is the end goal in this relationship? For some people, the method might be, okay, I'm trying to achieve something where in this relationship, maybe if it's like having a family, maybe is okay. I want to be financially because finance digs into the relationship. No
Yeah,
matter how you cut
today for sure.
it,
Got to be somewhere in there. You
right?
got to have the conversation.
Have it. You have to because if you want okay, a stay at home significant other, that's cool, right? But that means you have to be able to provide fully.
And they got to be able to.
So when you come home, there's okay. Now your role will be X, Y, and Z. So that defining the goal, the roles also is very important when it comes to it.
And the stay at home person to me, if I'm with someone and they're stay at home, they need to, in my opinion, if I'm providing,
Mhm.
I don't have a problem with them spending money, but I need you to take in account that, oh, this is the best deal for our family. That can be on groceries, that can be on hot dogs, that can be on anything. They say don't get the $5 hot dogs if we gonna boil them the same. And I don't have a problem with what kind. Get the $3 hot dogs.
Yes.
Because this is this is the priority for the family. You know what I'm saying? We you can stay at home, but I need you to say, okay, I handle X, Y, and Z. But today is no, I'm gonna get the $7 hot dogs. We're gonna eat. You don't even like hot dogs. It's for me. You know what I'm saying? So,
But then that's a sacrifice that's not met in the middle, right? When you go grocery shopping, you're like, damn, baby, I don't eat no macaroni and cheese, and we ate it the past 3 days.
so I guess my next question would be for you and for you guys is, um, it's a big thing in relationships to say, hey, tell your buddies, hey, just not me, it's her. When to the point do you take accountability and look within yourself and say, hey, I need to check myself? Because a lot of people don't, especially guys. We have too much pride to say, or men. I'm sorry, men have a bunch of pride to say, hey, it ain't me. I'm working. I'm cooking. I'm doing this. It can't be me. When is that point of you saying, or what advice would you give to our viewers to say, hey, you need to sit back, check yourself, and look within and actually understand yourself?
Well, if you're honest with yourself in a relationship, you have a specific um, not takes, but what we call within the business is it's very easy. It's analytical as well too because it's a constant thing that wants to, which is called habits. So you look into your habits and you find out, okay, what am I doing that's making my partner upset? What can I do to change it, or what can they do to make, or what can I do to make them better understand me?
Yep.
Right? Maturity level within men normally it comes at a later year. Women mature a lot earlier. That's not saying that women nowadays, because culturally affects also mental thinking of females
Mhm.
as well as males. But on average, the brain development within males is for maturity is a lot later in life. So if you got somebody who's young, what I would say or advise them is, okay, you have been with this person for X amount of years. What exactly is driving you to completely give everything up? And how important is it to you, whatever it is that you're not getting out of the relationship,
Yeah.
for you to then abandon it? Because as you get older and we change, our priorities should change as
Yeah.
well. It should.
Should.
Yeah, you meet some people that you're like, man, you still worry about the same thing.
10% should change.
You go from, hey, I just want to be out and have fun and enjoy life to now I have a family, my kids are my priority.
Yeah.
Right? That's a mature person right there. Because not even the job. Like, okay, some people focus in job and they become workaholics and they lack or deprive the intimacy portion within their relationship. And that's something that, in my opinion, is something that's tragic nowadays because so many people are so focused on the day to day. And I get it. Sometimes you have no choice, or it's very difficult to see a different point of view.
Yeah.
When you have to come home, you gotta pay the bill, you gotta put food on the table, and the money just doesn't give you enough savings to then change your lifestyle, right? But mental thinking also helps you provide a strategic plan to get out of that mindset.
Which is, it comes down, like you said earlier, is communication. Communication is, from what I was told, what I've been taught, is one of the biggest, if not the biggest thing when it comes to interrelationships.
You know what's crazy about communication too? Communication is not just the language, but words as well of understanding. Meaning, you can talk to your partner and say, "Hey, I need you to do this," right? Verbally saying it in English, and you both speak English, but maybe in the way that you're saying it, it's not coming through.
Well, a lot of people don't know how to communicate with their partner.
That is
They
correct.
don't know the language to talk to their partner because they haven't taken the time to understand that. And a lot of that comes from not knowing themselves. If you don't know yourself, you definitely can't talk to your partner. We have communications, we talk about stuff differently. Me and you can have a conversation, but then we have the same conversation with somebody else and it's not registered in the same way.
Correct.
It's because you're on a different frequency and you're just talking a different language.
You're
And
100%
and it's
correct.
not nothing wrong with them. I don't. That's what people think is. Oh, my partner is not doing this. So the woman can say, "Hey, baby, take out the trash before you leave," and that's not his language. It's not straightforward. Hey, baby, take out the trash, or you ain't getting none tonight. All right, I'm gonna you know, it's different languages.
Hey, hey, motivators and mofo.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that's where it comes to. But I think that was a great topic today for intimacy, communication. What else do you feel like is important keys to give you guys
Well, it's
when they leave?
with especially with communication, which you mentioned, and looking oneself. When you do couples therapy, the best thing that you can do and advice that they give you is you work on yourself and I work on myself. Meaning, you have stress, you have depression, or you might have anxiety. Work on yourself. When you work on yourself, you get better.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna work on myself and get better, and we meet in the middle. Because what happens a lot of times within a relationship, especially somebody who you intimacy with or have intimacy with, they start pointing fingers.
Yep.
Hey, I want you to do this. No, 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 I'm tired. It's like, no, 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 no. Hello. Why are you so short trigger or fused where everything all of a sudden you get rattled? What's going on?
Yep.
What are you deep inside? What's going on? What do you need to do in order to get through something? And I'm gonna be here for you. But a lot of times we need to look in ourselves and say, okay, I'm gonna fix myself. I'm going through some things. I appreciate your support. Let me work on this. And then a mature person, the other partner will be, okay, I'm gonna work on myself too. Let's meet in the middle.
It's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. Well, guys, stick around. We got another episode coming up about relationships. But if you have any questions or you want more information or you want us to touch on anything else, feel free to leave a comment. Feel free to message us or anything like that so we can touch on our next video. Thank you for listening to this one. We're going to be on our next episode here soon.